Welcome back, everyone. In today's video, I'm going to be teaching you how to make your very first workflow in n8n. By the end of today's video, you're going to learn how to make your own automated daily newsletter so that you no longer have to sift through all the information out there on the internet if you want to keep up to date with AI news or whatever topic you decide to pick. So let's dive in. So let's jump into the workflow. Basically, there's three different parts to it: collecting the information, filtering out what we don't need and what we do want, and then sending the information to ourselves. So let's start with the collection phase. As we can see, there are 4 different nodes within this phase. It starts off with the schedule trigger. Now this schedule trigger, all it does is basically tell the workflow when it's supposed to execute. In my case, I have it set to 8 a.m. every single day, but you can choose whatever time frame you want. You can make it days, weeks, months, or whatever custom time frame you can come up with. So once the workflow executes, we then have our RSS feed. Now, some of you may be asking, what is an RSS feed? Basically, that's just the raw output of a news site's article feed. Here's what it looks like. It's just a block of code with no formatting along with it. So once we gather all of the RSS feeds we want to collect, in my case, I have MIT Technology, OpenAI News, Google News, Wall Street Journal, and TechCrunch. Basically, this code block is just an array of all of the different RSS feeds that we'll be pulling information from. We're then going to send all those feeds through a loop node so that we can use an RSS reader node to pull out and extract the actual information from the RSS feeds. So what this RSS reader does is pull out the raw information and categorize it into creator, title, link, publish date, and content. This is an important step because we're going to use some of this information to filter out the articles that we don't want to see or send to the AI. Now that we've gathered all the information we want to be collecting, we need to start filtering it out for the relevant stuff. This starts with an if node. The if node is pretty straightforward. You collect the RSS reader publish date and you set it to not wanting articles that are greater than 3 days older. We don't want to be pulling information that's months, years old. We only want to be up to date with the most relevant news stories when it comes to AI. Once it runs and executes that, we then need to aggregate all of this data into one body of text. And we use that by using the aggregate node. Now all this does is basically take every single article that fits within the if statement we've said of the article was posted within the last 3 days and puts it into one body of text, this data category. And why that's important is because we're going to take all that data and feed it into the AI itself. And that's where this link node comes in, which is powered by OpenAI, the Chat GPT 4.0 model. Now, this is where you kind of have to play around and do it yourself of what the prompt's going to be like, but this is what ours looks like. System prompt AI news summary generation. So basically, this is prompting the AI of how we want to filter the articles we are sending to it. Right now, we're only sending articles that have been published within the last 3 days, but specifically, we want to look at ones that are related to AI news. So with that, we have certain criteria that it needs to filter for. Things like prioritizing impactful AI news, major company or industry news, notable research and developments, and AI policies and regulations. Now, this is where you have the optionality to play around and change the selection criteria based on whatever topic it is that you yourself want to be researching. And then the output is basically going to stay the same. Now, once we run this and execute the node, we'll see that we get a giant wall of text. Now, this is all the different articles that we've selected and filtered for based off of the prompt we've inputted. As you can see, you have the headline, the summary, the link, and the source. And then it just repeats over and over: headline, source, summary, link, headline, source, summary, link. Now, we could leave it at this, but if we sent it to our email right now, it would just show us a giant wall of text, and that's not very useful. So that's where we got to put some of our own code in. And I used AI to make this code that will format it so we can more easily read it. Now, again, like I said, I didn't actually code this. I used AI and prompted it to make me this type of code, and I'll post that prompt down below. Once we have the code formatted the way we want it, or the text formatted the way we want it, we can then link our Gmail or whatever platform you want to link. It can be Slack or Discord, or whatever it may be, so that it automatically sends to yourself. And we'll take a look and we'll see the final product of what actually shows up, and that'll be this. So we execute the workflow, we come over here. As you can see, I've been using this for a few different days. We're going to wait a little bit for the workflow to execute. Now, once the workflow has successfully been executed, we can now go over to our Gmail, and boom, we have a new email in our inbox that has a whole bunch of different AI stories that we can now read through and not have to spend our own time doom scrolling or endlessly switching through tabs to try and find the key stories. Now, if you found this video useful, I'd love it if you leave a like and a comment down below and let me know what type of video you would like to see next. As always, I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you next time.